Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you find yourself in this weird, wild, wacky world of ours, and welcome to the exciting installment of Darkness in Dublin. The scene will take place as Dr. Fletcher wends and twists his way. At one point, this neighbourhood would have been considered to be the toast of the town. However, now it's fallen into disrepair. Many of the houses stand derelict and empty, burnt out shells and husks. But yet, there is a simple savagery to the beauty of how humanity will leave things derelict. And so we will join him as he enters his haven. Liam?
Oh, yellows. Fletcher walks up the steps. Once in good condition, though, have been corroded and wasted away by acid rain and the like. He slips the key into the door and opens as he steps in. As he closed the door, he lets out a soft sigh as he looks around his abode. The place still in a bit of need of work, though still habitable for the meantime. Surrounding the place would be numerous large, quite heavy-duty crates. Some have been opened, while others are still closed.
You will see a figure who is seated very obviously in one of the old armchairs. Her long black fingernails tapping against the leather, the cracked leather of the worn chair, sitting in the only little light, the only little lamp that is seated on a desk where you may sit to read. And you see this figure very nonchalantly waiting. And yes, the fingernails are as long as shown.
As expected.
Ah. Welcome home, Fabian.
It is good to see
you. Many people say that. She stands, for the record, her name, if you wish to know it, as I assume you might do, is Isabella Pazzi.
Okay.
So, I do hope that you have had a productive evening.
It has been interesting.
In what manner?
Well, I had a run-in with a lupine.
Aye, and you're still standing.
Well, I was quick to get out of there.
Discretion is always and often the better part of valor.
Well, I can't risk blowing my cover so soon.
No, you can't.
Though the Seneschal seems to have taken some form of liking to me. Well, as much as someone of his age can.
A little piece of advice from what we've been able to gather. Vincent Hennessy, even more so than Thrain, more so than many of the other sycophants of the Camarilla, he's very good at seeing through people. He led the defense of this city when it was overtaken, and led a guerrilla operation against us for 1.5 years. Don't underestimate him.
I don't plan to underestimate any of them. If they manage to take the city in the first place, then that is a problem.
They took the city because they had deeper resources and we were in it, and we were unable to mobilize the amount of forces necessary to keep it. This is a simple fact. Ultimately, Ireland is a secondary objective, but it is still a matter of prestige, shall we say, that they managed to squat here. So, with that in mind, I have your first assignment. She throws you a file dossier, like as in a small kind of black leather-bound ledger, small black leather-bound file case.
He'll go to pick it up and flick it open. His finger just trailing across the lines.
Many of the former faithful, many of the former servants, acolytes, whatever you choose to call them, I'm sure they have names, but I've never bothered to know them, of the Dublin invasion force were killed when the city was retaken. However, several of them have managed to escape and are currently hiding throughout the country proper. Many of them, such as Bishop Mariposa, and rather famed Nodist scholar, managed to barter her way out with the Camarilla. She's currently in Spain, though I'm not exactly sure where, but then again, that's not exactly my business. However, there are still some key figures in the city who have been, shall we say, we would like them returned intact. In particular, there is one individual who has been causing rather a lot of stir at the moment. Have you heard of Ivan Sertikov? If you'd like to make me an intelligence vampire lore roll, you can. Difficulty 5.
Okay.
Because yours is easy.
So, intelligence plus vampire lore, was that?
Yes, intelligence plus vampire lore.
Okay. Difficulty 7?
Difficulty 5.
Difficulty 5. Ooh.
Yep. Ooh. Ooh.
I need to find the penguin. There you are. Three successes.
Okay, 1 moment. Serdikov is he's a senior member of your clan. He's a senior member of Clan Zamisi. He is a very influential member of Clan Zamisi. He's from the Old Country. He served briefly as the Voivode of Pest before he opted to he opted to join the Dublin expedition to strengthen it with his vicissitude created constructions and creatures. He is considered to be incredibly intelligent and incredibly devious, very, very devious. But the file mostly concerns him. But she will go on to say he's also, technically speaking, he's a bishop, but he never really does anything religious. He's one of those Zamisi who pays lip service to the fact he's in the cult, but doesn't actually give a fuck about being in the cult. So she'll say, Bishop Serdikov is currently in the city of Waterford. It's about 170 kilometers away, give or take. He's overthrown the princedom down there with what remains of his war pack, as well as I'm led to understand he's made some, I believe you call them voyaged. I have no idea how to pronounce it. In order to take the city. Currently, the Camarilla are mustering an attempt to enter the city and drive him from his new conquest, whilst we are enabling to have him withdrawn safely via helicopter that we are currently attempting to arrange. If you are indeed in the confidences of the Seneschal, when they come up with their battle plan, we would deeply like to know it. Do you understand?
I understand clearly. I'll get what information I can to you, though it is still early days.
I understand. She will throw him a single black rose, and she will say, a small favor. When it comes to meeting with other members of the organization, if you wear that, despite whatever face you're wearing, they will be able to identify you. Agreeable?
That is indeed agreeable.
I've also procured you this. She will say as she denotes on the small table that's right beside her. There is a mobile phone that is sitting there, and she'll say, this is off-keyed to any network, entirely untraceable. There's only one number in it, and that's when you need to get in contact with me. Only use it when it is necessary. I assume you understand.
It's funny. I got a similar number from the seneschal. He called it his "everything is on fire" number.
Have you had to call it yet?
Remember that werewolf?
Everything was on fire, wasn't it?
Indeed, it was.
I
I enjoyed it from the shadows.
Very well. In that case, I shall stand, leave, and wish you well. She will walk to the door and she'll put a hand on your shoulder. She'll then she'll grip your shoulder like a vice. And she will say, I would not recommend failing us in this endeavor.
I do not plan to.
Good.
Would I be able to make a request?
She will say "si" because she's Russian. She's not Russian. She's fucking Italian. But yes.
I am currently masquerading as a Bruja, however I lack many of the abilities of the clan. I would need someone to tutor me in the abilities of celerity and potence.
Oh, important point. You don't. In this game, you are able to develop physical disciplines by yourself. The physical disciplines being celerity, potence, and
so you don't. So you actually don't need tutor.
You don't need a teacher for the 3 physical ones. No.
In which case, he would say what he did, but instead of that, he would mention presence instead.
She'll shrug and she'll say, I'll do what I can.
That would be appreciated.
She leans in and she kisses you on both cheeks before she will say, Ciao, bambini. You will see the shadows around her gather until she herself becomes nothing but a translucent, globular being of pure darkness, and she will leave via the cracks and the cracks in the keyhole of the door, your front door. I take it you pick up the phone and all that other good stuff.
Yes, of course.
Good. And with that in mind, we shall end our scene. Thank you, player, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. This has been another scene in Darkness in Dublin. Have a pleasant evening.